In this video, I'll be showcasing REPLey, a web-based evaluation environment for Clojure, a REPL for short. So, what is REPLey? Well, for one, it is an open source project available on GitHub at this URL. It is a web application that can be used as standalone to provide a Clojure REPL. Alternatively, you can integrate it into an existing Ring application. It provides a simple one-function API that returns a Ring handler that you can use in your existing app. But as this provides a REPL, obviously you shouldn't do that in a production environment. So, how do we use REPLey? I have a shell here that is in the REPLey folder, so we can simply start it by calling Clojure with the dev alias. It will start a new Clojure REPL, and here we can see it gives us the URL to get to the web REPL. We click on it, and now we have a basic REPL here. In the below you can see the code editing area. So we can enter some Clojure code here and press Command Enter, and we see the result here. We can also see here that there's tabs for code and result. For code we can see that we have evaluated this in the user namespace, and this is the code that we ran. There's also buttons here on the right hand side to remove and rerun a piece of evaluation result. So let's look at something else. Let's have a map. Again, we can see the result pops up in this list of results with the EDN type visualization selected by default. For maps, we also have a table visualization. I will just show all the keys and values in the map. And we can, of course, filter this by a string match. So let's say, and we can see that. The table visualization also works for a sequence of maps. So let's add another one here. And evaluate this. Now we get a vector with two elements, both are maps. So table will show all these. It will gather up all the distinct keys that are in any of the maps and put those as headers and then values as rows. And again, we can filter this and we can sort these as well. The table visualization also works for data that is passed by Clojure data CSV. So vectors that where the first one is a header. Of course, we also have errors, so type something bad and try to evaluate that. We get an exception, and we can, of course, hide these, hide the details in any of these results. And here we can see the truncation as well. So by default, long results are truncated, and you can have a button to show it fully, or just show more if there's too many of them. Let's try another one. So let's try system properties. Now we get a map that is quite large, so we see that output is truncated. We can do it fully to get all of it. And then we have the table as well here. So let's filter something like vendor here. So this works neatly. Another thing is that we can use this to navigate to other values. So let's navigate to this java.vendor. Now we can see breadcrumbs here, and we have navigated to another part of the result tree. So this works for anything that is datafiable and navigable, as the Clojure protocols suggest. So let's try a deeper one. So this is a deeper structure. Let's look at how we can navigate this. So let's go to the table view. Let's navigate to the first one, and we can navigate further to the second one. Let's navigate further to this vector, And now we can see we have breadcrumbs building up here. So we can go back to another element or back to the root, which will remove the breadcrumbs. Another visualization is for files. So we have a file visualization. Let's put in the current folder we started our REPL in. Let's evaluate this file. So when we evaluate the file, we get by default the file visualization that is tailor-made for files. We can of course have the code, the result, but the file is by far the most useful, and by default for directories this will show all the files that are in this directory, and we can navigate this. So let's for example go to this deps.edn file here, and we can see that it's a 718 byte file, and we have a button here that we can download this file. Let's go back to the root, so we can navigate the directories as well. Let's go to node modules, for example. As we're using Tailwind, we have some dependencies here. Let's go to here. So you can use this as a file browser as well. Other visualizations are planned, like we have graphing support that you can use to graph like frequencies and other simple numerical values. And the REPL provides a protocol, so you can bring in your own other visualizations as well. So this has been a quick intro of REPLey, which is still a quite young project. It's a week old at this point, but I'm hoping it will become a useful part. Oh, and one more thing, we can also add support for tapping values. So here we have the REPL that we started in the Clojure side, so we can call repley.main/listen to tap. Now we have initialized the tap listener. So any value you tap here on the Clojure side will automatically come up in the REPL, and the code for this will be just tap value received at the time stamp it was received. But you can also use REPLey as sort of a fancier logging mechanism where you can inspect the values much better than a just text-based. So that's it, and see you next time.